reasonably anticipated by the chair, which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. Can we please have a call to order?
Nicole Mello, present.
Mark Pacheco, present.
And Peter Karen present via Zoom. And now, can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? And we do have a moment of silence right after, so if everybody could just please standing for a moment, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we lost the neighbor this week, Patricia Lorino. If we could just have a moment of silence, please. Thank you, guys. First thing up is scheduled appointments, which there are none. So we can move right on to announcements whenever you're ready, Nicole.
The Open Space Committee will be organizing a town cleanup day of open spaces in town, April 19th, with a rain date of April 26th. They are looking for volunteers to assist in the cleanup efforts. In addition, anyone who has any suggestions of any particular areas to clean up can contact Jonathan Gale. And I finally got the dates right, and Jonathan's not here to tell me I'm wrong, so we're good.
Nice.
The Dighton Lions Club's food bank will be held next on Saturday, April 12th. They are located at the lower level of Town Hall. A public meeting regarding library accessibility will be held on Thursday, April 24th at Old Town Hall at 6:30 p.m. The library director will provide an update on the progress of the new library construction project. Jonathan Gale, the ADA coordinator, will be on hand to discuss the town's vision for making the new library fully accessible. This is your opportunity to help shape the Dighton Public Library for years to come. On Saturday, April 26th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the DEA will coordinate with the Dighton Police Department for a one-day prescription take-back event. This event provides an opportunity for the public to surrender pharmaceuticals, controlled substances, and other medications. The Dighton Historical Society is holding a plant sale. This is on Saturday, May 17th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Winslow Davis Museum, 1217 William Street. Stop by and get your plants for your garden. This is a rain or shine event. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Now is the time for the first public input. Is there anyone there or anybody on the line that wants to be heard? No? Not this time? Okay. We'll move right on to the town administrator's report, please.
Sure, thank you very much, Peter. Two things. Thing number one is we received a request from Dighton Rehoboth Regional School. As you may be aware, they will be engaging with contract negotiations with Dighton Rehoboth Regional School District Teachers Union. The DR Regional School Committee requests that a Rehoboth Board of Selectmen and the Dighton Board of Selectmen jointly decide who will be their municipal representative. We don't know if you have any idea who to put forward, or if anybody has said anything to you, or someone on this board wishes to be put forward, I will share that information with the Dighton Rehoboth Selectmen, and you guys will jointly decide on who that would be. So it's obviously important to have some representation at that contract negotiation. So.
Okay. Have we been in touch with the Rehoboth to see who they might recommend?
No, not yet. We just got the letter yesterday,
Okay.
so I'll reach out to them. And then secondly, we put out the bid for glass doors for the library. We received 3 bids. Somerset Glass came in at $43,675. Since it's under the $50,000 threshold, I signed the contract for it, and I just wanted to make the selectmen aware of that.
It's interesting that only looks like one glazing company responded. The other ones look like construction companies, so that was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, well, but construction companies, I mean, Millworks, they do doors and everything, but maybe that's why Somerset Glass was cheaper, right?
Absolutely, makes sense.
And that's all I have for the town
All
administrator.
right, thank you, Ralph. You guys have any questions for Ralph yet?
No.
No? Okay. Then on to selectmen's reports. Anything, Nicole?
I just wanted to highlight two of our departments. I don't know if anyone saw the video the police department put out yesterday on the firing range. I thought that was excellent. That was an excellent step after everything that they did already to show about the range, and to have that video, I think, was really great. As well as, I know today the fire department had put out that they received a grant for purchasing some equipment that they need. It was a grant over $7,000. It's the second round of the firefighter safety equipment grant. So they'll be getting some stuff with that. So just thank you to them for putting in for that and getting that. It's helpful, especially in this time. That's it.
I agree.
All right, thank you. Mark, do you have anything tonight?
All I have is the annual town election is this Saturday at Dayton Elementary School from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Most of the races aren't contested, but there is one, and even if they're not, we hope everyone goes out and votes. So
Right.
please vote this Saturday.
Yes, there is a very important race, and that's for the school committee. And it's certainly going to shape the way the school committee runs and the budgets going forward. So people should put a lot of thought into it, and they really should come out and vote. And like Mark, you said, even though most of the races are not contested, it's still their civic obligation to do that.
I agree with you,
Okay.
Peter. Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to old business. This is a review, discuss, and act. Update annual town meeting proposed schedule. This is a revised schedule, I guess, from, well, it has, what's the new date on it, Ralph?
Yeah,
Or what changed?
well, we didn't change any significant dates. The June 9th is still the annual town meeting. The closing of the warrant is still today, but we wanted to flesh it out a little more, so make it a little more granular. So we added like legal counsel review and just the joint BOS FinCom meeting. So again, we just want everybody to see it instead of the ones we had put out 2 weeks ago was a little more general, so we made this one more specific. So.
Okay. What's the post-annual town meeting warrant?
That's what,
Post it?
yes,
Okay.
that's what,
Nicole, do you have anything?
No, I don't have any questions.
Mark, do you have anything?
No, thank you.
All right, great. Then we'll move right on to new business. The first one is a review, discuss, and act. This is for the Conservation Commission, a request for additional hours. I'm sure you guys remember a couple weeks ago when we were at the Finance Committee meeting, joint meeting, the Conservation Committee requested additional hours for their agent. Is she here tonight, or is anybody here to represent them?
they are here tonight, Peter.
Okay. My feeling is this. I don't know the position as well as she does or as well as they do, but, so I don't know if the hours are an additional time is needed or not. I think, when we are seriously looking at budget cuts tonight, that this probably is not the opportune time to ask for an increase in hours. Again, not being a professional at what like she does, and I'm sorry that she is under the gun, but I personally don't recommend that we add additional hours at this time. Nicole?
So yeah, obviously this is a time where we're asking all the boards and committees and departments to make a cut, and then to have this request, it's just not the time. And like Peter said, like I don't know what you do, but this is, I just don't see this as an appropriate time to make that kind of decision. And I know we're putting new fees in place that were supposed to help with paying, but when we were doing that, it wasn't looking to add on, it was looking to pay for what we already had in place. That was my understanding.
Right.
So that's all I have to say about it.
Okay, thank you. Mark, do you have anything?
I do. Just
Okay.
sorry.
Take your
Just a second.
time.
Thank you. It takes me a second to gather my thoughts sometimes.
Sure.
I have some conflicting ideas, because I agree with everything that both of you said, and I think it is, I mean, we have basically an impossible task next on the agenda when we talk about budgets. But I also have the same underlying principle that, it's been an initiative of mine to offer employees that don't have a contract the opportunity to get one, and if Lisa, and I'm understanding she is willing to consider one, I think contracts are negotiable, so I would be open to do it under those circumstances. But we could always table it to a different time when our budget's set, I guess, or we have a better grip on the financial situation of the town.
Okay, so you want to table either this question or just the fact that you would like to have contracts for the individual employees? Because we have to decide tonight if we're going to change their budget.
I'm not really sure, I'm
For
sorry.
Individual contracts, like you, or contracts with people who don't have them. I just don't think tonight is the night to decide whether she should get, whether we should do that, and really just to move forward. Do we want to grant additional hours?
Okay. I think we should give it some consideration at some point, so maybe if we at
Okay.
least can table it to a certain date, is that something that maybe we should consider? So that department has, maybe can look into more resources, or maybe they can find a creative solution that, we don't want to, like Selectman Mello said, they have, we don't want to deplete their accounts that they're just starting to get, that they have just
Right.
initiated, but I know the departments have needs as well.
Sure.
I'm not being very articulate tonight, I apologize.
No, that's all right. I know what you mean, though.
It's a difficult thing, because I know that they wouldn't ask if it wasn't needed, but telling all the other departments that we have to decrease and then to increase in department, just, all right, I can't do it.
Okay. So then is there going to be a motion on the floor for this?
I'll make a motion that at this time, we do not accept, the request for additional hours.
Second.
May I speak?
This discussion.
Sure. This is the discussion part, so go ahead.
Hey, Nicole, I think this is going to address your statement in that you really aren't sure what the agent does. But first of all, we've had a great deal of increases in the number of applications that have been coming in. Lisa has to meet with the developer, the engineers, the scientists. She has to go out and view locations of septic systems. When people call in and saying there is a violation, as a matter of fact, tonight we made the time to meet at a certain time this evening, and she's not there. She's out. She got a call in to inspect a violation in progress. She had to go. Lisa does not have an administrative staff. Most departments, they have their agent, they have administrative staff to do the various paperwork, and then they might have additional staff after that. Lisa has to do it all. With this meeting with these engineers and wetland scientists, site visits, it's extremely time-consuming. In addition, she has to write up the orders of conditions. She has to write up enforcement orders. She has to go visit those sites when enforcement orders have been given. And a lot of times she gets calls. I know she does because I get them from her on weekends, and I cover for her if she gets a weekend call, because that's when most violators do their work, on weekends when they're home. Now, yes, this would be an increase in pay, but I mean, in lieu of all the work that she does and that she has taken over, it's it's really imperative that she gets some additional time. Now, the increase that we are asking for 5 hours would be about $11,000 a year. I'm rounding it. However, we reduced our budget from last year by $6,000, so this would actually be about a $5,000 increase over last year. Where would this funds come from? Maybe just out of general funds from somewhere. That would be up to you people. But this year we also have a revised bylaw system that has just been approved, and which fees will be received from various applicants or various violators. We don't know how much that's going to be, but we could be helping to fund that. Again, I can't say, but we also have the WPA account, and I think it's all in fairness for the amount of work and the time consumed by Lisa to give her this additional 5 hours per week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, I appreciate your concern, and,
Oh, what did I forget?
oh, is there somebody else?
For the record, I just wanted to reiterate that I also have to do all the accounting. So, paying bills, helping to facilitate the contract with Weston and Sampson and those peer review services, keeping track of those things, making sure Serena's getting what she needs. And also, whenever we have an issue, we have to deal with a lawyer. I'm dealing with the lawyer. So I just wanted to reiterate that it's admin, technical, field, office, it's everything that the other departments that do inspections have to do, but I'm doing it without any admin staff, except for the woman I have that's doing the minutes, which she's been doing a great job with that. But I just wanted to reiterate, I think, there's not many towns that you could see, if you looked around, that don't have more than one person. Most towns have definitely 2 full-time, never mind 1 part-time, but.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lisa. Like I said, I understand the position that you're in. 2 things. One, I think the hours that you put in are exceptional, and you work very hard at what you do. We're not open weekends and we're not open nights. That's the town hall. And if you have to come in on a weekend, then something else is wrong. It's not just as simple as adding more hours to your pay. As far as you saying there are emergencies, I think what Mark had talked about earlier, having a contract, something like that would have to be put in a contract of you being on call weekends. It's just that at this time, I can't recommend that we have additional hours put in. I know you do a lot of work, and it's greatly appreciated. I'm not sure what other towns do. It really doesn't affect what we do here in Dayton, but it's just difficult at a time that we're looking to cut possibly positions that as much as you work hard, so does everyone else. I just can't justify more hours at this time. When we put a contract in place, or if there's going to be a contract in place, and we can add something at that time, I'd be more than happy to consider it again, but not this evening. So there's a motion on the.
I have one more thing under discussion. If this motion fails, which, so if this motion fails, I want to know from my colleagues if you guys think we could put it on the warrant for an additional 5 hours so we can keep it segregated from the budget and allow perhaps the Conservation Commission or the conservation agent to, give her that opportunity to discuss it at town meeting. Doesn't mean the selectmen have to recommend the article or FinCom, but at least place it on the warrant to give them maybe one more opportunity to discuss it.
I'm not sure that we should do that, because then we can have every department up there arguing, saying almost the same thing. So it's the job of the selectmen to decide, not necessarily the voters of that evening. I don't know, what's your opinion, Ralph?
I would agree with you, Peter. I think, you know, we would have to get the funds from somewhere, and we're pretty tight all the way around. So I think I think it's something we could look into. I think it might be appropriate to have maybe a year under the belt to see what how many fees are collected. You know, at that point we can revisit. And this way is no reflection on the work Ms. Caledonia does. It's just the budget situation we're in currently.
Can I just clarify something on the revolving funds? Full-time salaries cannot be charged to the, let me rephrase that. If a full-time salary is charged to a revolving fund, then we also have to charge the other benefits that employee receives, such as health insurance or other insurances. So if we are thinking to use revolving for a full-time salary, then, you know, the expense will be beyond just the hourly rate of the salaries.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any more discussion on this?
No.
Yes, I would like to say one more thing. When we
Sure
look
thing, Jim.
at the school,
go to the
police,
podium.
fire.
Sorry, you gotta go to the podium.
Okay. When we look at the police, fire, school department, yeah, we're talking millions of dollars. We're talking 5,000 in addition to last year's budget. 5,000.
Okay. Is that it for discussion then?
Yes.
Okay, then a call for a vote, please.
What was
All
our
those in
motion? I'm
favor?
sorry, I lost, our motion was to,
Made and seconded.
what was our motion? To
The
table?
motion was to not recommend.
Okay, so that, I'm an aye.
I think we gotta do on, what do you announce a roll call vote? Because you're on Zoom.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Peter Karen, aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
What was the motion?
We didn't recommend at this time.
The motion was not to recommend.
Moving on to B, review, discuss, and act to close the annual town meeting warrant.
I'll make a motion to close the annual town meeting warrant.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Oh, Nicole Mello, aye. Sorry, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
it's all good.
Peter Karen, aye. Okay, guys, now on to the big one. This is again a review, discuss, and act, the fiscal year 2026 budget recommendations. Now, I understand we have to vote on the total, the department total, not the individual lines. Now, I don't know how you guys want to proceed. I have some changes that I'd like to see in, thought that it was best that if we don't necessarily have to go through each individual line item, but we should go through each individual department. And if there's any changes that we'd like to make, then we can make them at that time. Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Ralph, is that acceptable to you?
No, that's fine. Just a note, Serena provided the wording for the motion. So as we go through each department, that's the preferred motion. And then also, you know, prior to this meeting, I had, as I had promised, I had sent some additional, well, it's not additional information. It's the same information I've been sharing with this board. Just, you know, just updating on the town administrator's recommendations, how we intend to use free cash, and then overall the budget that I had put forward looks like we're $80,000 plus. And then also, you know, moving forward, some thoughts we have to get direction on how to address the budget in FY27. So, with that,
How much free cash are we supplementing this budget with?
so the free cash is $371,524. We're using for free cash for snow and ice. Snow and ice, $135,000, so one time for one time. Reserve fund, $50,000, one time for one time. $25,000 stabilization, one time for one time. $10,000 OPEB. $251,524 is to go for general government operations. So, 251,524.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Could you read the last one for general government operations again?
251,524.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys, before we start?
I have a idea that I'd like
Sure, go
the
ahead.
board to, I guess, think about. So, we're gonna go through our recommendations tonight, and I'm sure we'll make some cuts, and FinCom will, but we'll still have a deficit that we'll be funding with free cash to the tune of 300 and something thousand. So, the way I look at it, we kind of have three different options for our budget. The first option is kind of what we're going to do tonight. We're going to go line by line and make our recommendations to present to the townspeople. So I think that should be option one. And I kind of like to do a it'd be a little different than what we're used to, but I'd like to give the townspeople three options. So that's kind of option one. Option two is to present a different budget that shows trash being an enterprise fund. So that way their residents still have the trash services, because we've heard that feedback a lot. However, it's pulled out of the budget. And I've done some research on it. I looked at the town of Marshfield does it, Concord, and I know we've had it presented before, pulling it out. But an enterprise account, this is from, I'm just going to read a small excerpt from DLS, allows a community to demonstrate to the public the total cost of providing a service by consolidating all of the program's direct and indirect costs, so interdepartmental support, insurance costs, etc., debt, even capital expenditures, into a segregated fund. To support the service, a community may choose to recover total costs through user charges, rates, through tax levy subsidy, or through appropriation of other available funds. So even like if we did an enterprise fund for trash and recycling, you can even put employees in there from my research. So folks at the transfer station, or if we have highway workers supporting trash, you can apply salaries to enterprise funds as well. So if we could do maybe a special meeting and look at a budget that shows what would our budget look like if we have an enterprise fund for trash. And then a third budget option, which we discussed at when we initially did a debt exclusion, was looking at the staffing at town hall. That's what we proposed to the townspeople. If the debt exclusion failed, we'd have to look at staffing. So that would be scenario 3. And I just want to go back to scenario 1, which is kind of what we're doing now. I think if we bring this to town meeting, and let's say you guys agree with me, if this is the budget the townspeople approve, which is funding our budget through free cash, which we all know is very unhealthy, I would like to see, there's another Mass General Law. It's Mass General Law, Chapter 53, Section 18B. And basically what this law does is, we were really restricted when we did the last debt exclusion. We really couldn't put anything on the ballot that described it. It was basically you just put the exact language as prescribed what a debt exclusion is. And most folks were very confused as to what that meant. So I'd like to see in this budget, we propose it that if this is the way the town goes, obviously we probably need to do another debt exclusion. And so we would need to accept this law, and this would allow us to do the pros and cons of a yes vote, the pros and cons of a no vote. You can have your your town attorney write a summary of what's happening, and it also prescribes that we send a mailer out to residents So, because I feel like, and I've said it right from the beginning, we did everything we possibly could for the last debt exclusion. But when I did the initial research on it, the state did say if we accepted this law, we can do more, and this would allow the town to do more. Because if we keep doing the same thing over and over, we're probably not going to get different results. So this would be something a little different. So I threw a lot at you guys, but I thought I would love to hear what you guys think about that.
Well,
Go ahead, Nicole.
I like having the options. The trash for enterprise fund, showing people what's the alternatives. Like, obviously this year, we're just gonna go through do what we usually do, but like Ralph had said, we have to start talking about the next fiscal year, and for people to have a better understanding of that things are gonna have to change, a better understanding of why it's not healthy that we're taking from free cash. I don't think people understand that. I think they think, well, the money's there, why not? So if we have the availability to show them other options that might be more, I don't know. I like the suggestion. I guess that's all that's gonna come out of that.
That means a lot to me.
Sure, good work, Mark. I guess I'm going to pretend for a second that I'm sitting there in the audience listening, and are you telling me I'm going to have 3 options tonight on how to vote on the town budget?
So we're still the leaders of the town. They elected us to lead.
Right.
So I think
Yeah.
the way I see this playing out is we do this budget tonight. We do a special meeting for trash, a special meeting for
Okay, I
personnel.
understand now. Yep.
But then we
Yeah.
recommend an option to the townspeople. So
Okay.
we say, we recommend option, let's say B, enterprise fund. I'm just throwing that out there. This is what we recommend. But if the townspeople reject it, because we don't have a crystal ball, we don't know who's going to show up to town meeting. Different audiences can prescribe a different future for our town. We're not scrambling to get the numbers. We've already gone through every budget scenario, so we don't have to incur any costs for another meeting. Hopefully we do our research and we can get it all settled that night. And so I still think we should recommend an option. However, we can sit there and say, if you don't like it, we have 2 other options for you. What's your pleasure? We've gone through the scenarios. We've actually put pen to paper, and we can show you what the town's future would look like with these, because we really have 3 different roads we can go down here. One is going to be more spending. One is, we have 3 different options, so I think we should recommend one, but give them 3.
Okay. Do you have an opinion, Ralph?
I just need some clarification. Is it your intention or the intention of the board to do this at this annual town meeting?
Yes. I think, I thought about the enterprise fund, and I probably assume you can't get that done for July 1st, but we could find a date that we could get it done by and get the numbers for that, So this is the hard part, because we have to go through every single budget for here, but looking at these other things, we only have to look at certain budgets for, and we can spend more time on them if we did a couple special meetings.
Special meetings meaning selectmen's meetings, or?
I think we should do this meeting for this tonight, and
Right.
don't change what we're doing. I think we should have one special meeting involving all the stakeholders, and we should do a budget for enterprise funds for trash. And that wouldn't require us looking at the entire budget. We're only looking at, there's only a few lines for solid waste. And then the third option, which is, we would still be looking at a consolidated number of budgets.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna have to look at the enterprise fund, but I know in some instances with an enterprise fund, I have to get the specifics of it, and I'll share them with you. Sometimes you have to do a vote at town meeting for the enterprise fund to raise an appropriate, to yeah, the initial seed money for the enterprise fund. So we have to look at that. I think we could get on this meeting, if you suggest it as an article, the 5318B. the town could accept that at the town meeting. That's the easiest thing to do.
Absolutely.
Out of the what you suggested. I'm trying to think what the logistics, the logistics of how to make that work. So we,
I guess that's my concern, is
Yeah.
the logistics of it.
Yeah.
I agree with everything that you're saying, Mark.
Yeah.
I just don't know, that's why I'm asking Ralph, how
Yeah.
do we go about doing it?
Yeah, that's-
As far as an enterprise fund goes, we as a trash, the waste committee have talked about that and think that is the answer. Well, that's coming from myself, but that is a possible answer to our dilemma here.
How important, Mark, is it that it happens this fiscal year? Like,
I think as a
it
board,
can't, so that's what we need to hear. Like, this is not possible for this to happen this year. But having it planned,
we should have the vote for this town meeting so we can plan on it. You know, we need, if we keep kicking this can down the road, like, I don't know exactly, we're probably not gonna solve the world tonight, but, we should be proposing more at town meeting than just this budget. So enterprise fund is a solution, but town meeting might hate it. So instead of solid waste spinning the wheels and trying to come up with all these scenarios, I think we really should propose the three options, and I think we can give it more thought. So like tonight, I think we should just go through this budget, you know, as we always do, and that's gonna be one of, you know, there's a deficit, we're funding in free cash, but, and maybe there's other options in the two I gave, but we should give other scenarios, that's, I guess.
Okay,
yeah,
My
I'm in
idea.
agreement.
okay.
The whole year to establish, except to like open one and then work on getting the money in there.
All right,
So
I think we should proceed, like you said, Mark, with the way we have it. I think an enterprise fund is a great idea. I'm not sure if it can be feasibly done by the June meeting. If not, it's certainly something that we should put on our agenda right away to get it done for next year. But
if I may, Peter,
Sure.
I just had a quick sidebar with Serena. Yeah, we should have some meetings, and if it is the intent of the board to put it on, we're looking to have a special town meeting in the fall, and that might be the time, that would be the time to put it on, so we could enact it. They'll be ready for fiscal year 27?
27.
Yeah, to
The
go,
billing and everything.
yeah.
I'd like to see us move a little quicker,
No, I hear you.
because I just have, as an elected selectman representing the town, I would have a really hard time sitting up there saying, this is the only option, and it's gonna cost you $371,000 out of your savings account, and, we all knew this was coming, and, I think if we really try hard and we put our heads together, we can get a budget for an enterprise fund. I think we have a lot of smart people in town hall. We have a fantastic board of selectmen, and if we have a meeting dedicated to this and we do some research and then we decide it's just not feasible to bring to town meeting, I would accept it, but I'd hate to kick the can down the road and only offer our townspeople a $370,000 deficit. Or Band-Aided free cash.
okay.
What's the date that the warrant has to be?
Again, I don't know if it's feasible, but I'm willing to give it as much effort as everybody else can too.
I know our employees in town hall are all very on edge, and our residents are, so
We're just,
to offer them some more solutions, I think would be greatly appreciated.
yeah.
So we really only have until May 22nd when the warrant is to be posted. So in reality, a week before that, it would have to be on the warrant to be posted. So that's like 4 weeks. But we can put our best efforts within those 4 weeks.
Okay. I'm an optimist, so I think we can do it.
So you know
Okay.
that would also include setting up utility billing and, the Board of Health.
I don't think we can get it set for July 1st to enact it, but we
Okay, so you're
could,
just looking to like establish.
if we
it-
establish an enterprise fund, and let's say we put heads
Okay.
together and say, I don't think we can start till January 1st, but we could present a budget at town meeting that says this will start January 1st, you know, because it's going to take a lot of time, you know?
And
Or
then-
maybe your recommendation is we can at least accept an enterprise fund and then
And then get it going. and
at
when-
special town
special
meeting
town
or
we can
something,
do it.
but I
Okay.
guess I just want to plan for, I want to walk
Yeah,
into town
no,
meeting with
no.
a plan. Yeah,
No, as do we, it's like when I put the recommendations going to fiscal year 27, that's the sooner the better. But we will, okay.
thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. One more thing on this, so when we do this, can we also have a placeholder to, if I have your support on that Mass General Law for the election? Can we reconsider that, maybe when we place the warrant, because we'll have to fund that too. In this option one, because this would have a cost if we did a debt exclusion vote prior to next year, if that's something we want to consider. Or if we just think we can hold off until the next annual town election in a year from now.
By accepting 5318B, the accepting of it has
There's
no
no
cost.
cost,
No
no.
cost to the town.
No, but the implications, if we put a debt exclusion on the ballot again, would have a
If
cost.
we would have a cost if we choose to, yeah, if we put the debt exclusion on. If a debt exclusion on, and we do have 5318B, if we exercise 5318B,
Right,
we would have a cost.
we would. So I just want to make sure if we accept it, we also fund it, I guess, is my point. Oh, and actually, I'm thinking out loud here, we should fund it in this, because if we put it on our ballot for a year from now,
Yeah.
even if it wasn't a special election, it'd be a mailing cost and a town council cost as well.
Okay. Any other comments, guys?
No.
No, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
I certainly appreciate the work that you put in. It shouldn't go unnoticed.
I just need, do we put 5318B on? Or is that the intent to put it on this, Put a placeholder in an article for it? Or we just want to hold off on it? I was unclear as to which way you wanted to go.
Mark wants to place it.
So we're going to place it?
I
Everybody's
would love
okay?
to place it,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's where I thought we were going. I just wanted to double check.
I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you, guys.
Okay. All right, let's start with 113, town meeting. The department total for this is 3705. Does anybody have any questions about it or comments about it? Okay, hearing none, then let's take a vote on it.
Are we on general government 113?
Yeah, 113,
113.
page 1.
Okay. I have no comments.
I don't have any comments.
Okay, then we need a vote for 3705 for department total, for department 113.
Okay, I make a motion to recommend $3,705 for general government 113.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Peter Karen, aye. Okay, moving on to moderator. This is where I have some, not concerns, some comments. What do we want to do about stipends? I understand that the town administrator's request is to cut the stipends by 50%. The departments, some have taken an increase, others are level funded, and some have taken a decrease. My concern is we have a lot of departments that work very hard. I'm not sure a 50% reduction should be taken at this time. I would like to see it funded at 80% instead of just the 50%. But the town moderator had made a comment at the finance committee meeting to eliminate his, salary, stipend altogether. I don't think that's fair either. He works very hard on those 2 nights that he go, 3 nights if there's a third meeting. You guys have opinions on stipends?
I don't know.
I was for the 50%. However, hearing your comments, Selectman Karen, you know, I know another thing that I'd mulled over in my head was a third, and a third. So how would you feel
Right.
about reducing it by a third this year and a third next year and eventually going to zero, unless perhaps we solve the budget when some other option and we can put them back the other way.
Sure, a third works for me. You know, the decreasing by 20% was not scientific. It was just a look at keeping everybody engaged, as well as trying to control the budget.
Okay.
I'm fine with that, if that's what
Okay,
we're looking to move forward with.
so can somebody do the math for, this is gonna be for the town salary moderator.
Looks like it would be $333. Do you agree with that, Serena?
The 500.
Yeah.
So, 330, yeah. Yep,
I have 333. Is that what you have?
I did.
333, yeah, with the round.
That should be, correct.
Okay. So I make a motion. Did you comment, Selectman Mello?
No. No, I said that I agreed with you
Oh,
guys in the
okay.
regards to the 1/3.
All right, I didn't remember. I make a motion for the town moderator, 114's, budget to be $333.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter
Aye.
Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, moving on to the Board of Selectmen, Department 122. Again, we have the
The stipends.
stipends in there as well. And as far as anything else, does anybody have any comments or concerns about the totals?
No?
No.
I guess, I'm just looking at my notes, I got them on separate pages, sorry, guys. The dues and subscriptions, are those all carved in stone, Ralph? For everything that we need to do?
Dues and subscriptions,
3,800 just seems like an awful
Right.
lot, and I'm looking at the zero-based budget that we have. There's a lot of, different meetings that are on there.
let me just take a quick look at that. Thank you.
Obviously, we reduced the travel because we're not going to the trade show.
Right,
And, whenever you're ready, Ralph, just jump in.
Yeah, no, yeah, I got it. I mean, you know, we reduced the dues and MMA and MMHR, which really Karen and I subscribe to, and the HR, you know, Zoom. You know, we hold the Zoom account on there. American, and then the big thing is postage permit, Nitro. What's that? That's
Adobe, that's like.
yeah, the Adobe, I mean, it's, we did cut it down as much as we could.
Okay. Then the other thing I had, it was the selectmen travel. Is that just the 3 selectmen's budget, or is that pertain to you, Ralph, in any way?
That's just his.
That's just mine.
Hit the selectmen's.
Is this yours?
Oh,
Okay.
just like me, oh,
Your budget 124.
oh, sorry, yeah.
So anything 122 is only the selectmen.
So I think we eliminate the 750. I don't think it's necessary.
Well, does that include Karen? Like,
Oh, is that,
yeah, and she might have to travel. I mean,
Don't do much.
you don't do much.
We could probably go to 5.
Do we want to decrease it to 500?
For travel?
Yeah? I know it's nickel and diming, but all these cuts are gonna add up to a number that we can at least, show that we're trying to reduce it as much as we can.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah, if Karen's fine with 500, yeah. Alright. The limo, you're not gonna be taking it anymore.
Oh.
Private jet.
So no more town car to pick me up for meetings?
No.
Okay. Then we have to make an adjustment for the stipends as well as the 250.
So I have for the salaries line, $105,762.08. And for the expenses line, $82,900.
I just did it as a total. So do you have the
I will have,
chairman as 3,333 and then 6,666?
oh, I had 3330. Oops. So it's 3333.
That's just the rounding on that.
6666, that was really bad. That's not good.
Okay, do we have a new number?
Yeah, momentarily.
Sure.
I have $188,671.08.
That's what I have. Thank you.
Okay, so I would make a motion for Board of Selectmen 122 budget, $188,671.08.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Peter Karen, aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, town administrator. The only thing I had in here is the stipend to the ADA coordinator. Is that cut by a third as well?
Yeah, why does it say 36%?
That was just what was spent through.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, okay, that's this percentage then. Okay.
So that's,
How much did that go up?
I mean, so I increased it by the 2.5%, and that's based on him working 10 hours a month.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily a stipend, like if he works under 10 hours, then he gets paid under 10 hours. It's more of an hourly wage thing.
So we should leave his as is.
Want to leave it as is?
I would suggest
Hmm,
It should be level with last year. If we're not going to cut it by a third, it should be level to last year.
that. I thought the selectmen voted to increase everybody by 2.5.
And that included per diem employees? I know in the past it hadn't included per diem employees. I just knew that as the town nurse.
That
I
was,
never.
yeah, we had that separated out from boards and committees, the ADA coordinator, because of the hourly rate.
Why?
It's not exactly a stipend, but an hourly rate.
More of a
So-
part-time position.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I don't care if we want to leave it alone or make it last year's.
I'm not really sure. I want to treat all the employees the same. Ralph,
Right.
would we be treating him any differently if, what's?
If
what
we,
do have to do to
everybody,
treat him
for the most
same?
part, right, for the most part, employees we put in for the 2.5%.
And that would be treat him the same as everybody else?
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
so with
that
that
sounds good.
said, that's really important. I would keep the budget as is, at least for that, for
Okay.
that line.
Yeah,
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
sure, that's fine. Okay, any other questions about the department total?
I don't think so.
Okay, then the total should be, with the town administrator's recommendation is $195,027.09.
I'll put that in the form of a motion.
I will second that.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nicole
Peter
Mello,
Karen is
aye.
an
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Finance Committee. Again, the stipends were cut by 50%. If we add it back to a third, it should be slightly higher.
2166.45 cents.
Thank you.
Plus 225.
Do we have a new total yet?
You said, Serena said $2,166.45.
For the salary, plus the 225 for the expenses,
$23.91.
$2,391.45.
So I'll make a motion to approve Finance Committee, Department 131, not to approve, to recommend for $2,391.45.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Peter Karen, aye. The reserve fund, 132. This is still page 2, guys.
Thank you. I like that we are still able to make a reserve fund transfer, so I support 50,000.
Yeah, I do as well.
So do I.
Awesome.
So motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to recommend $50,000 for 132 reserve fund.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Town accountant, I thought maybe I had comment, no comments on that one, thank you. Okay, any discussion, guys?
No.
No.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to recommend 135 town accountant for $174,778.77.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Board of Assessors, again, we have a stipend issue, where we have to change. In this case, we're cutting it by a third.
$33.01,
Uh,
37,
I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
and $66.02,
we're adding
74.
a third back into what the town, town administrator recommends.
6602.74.
So the first one for the chairman?
Yeah.
3301, 37. And then for the members, 6602, 74.
I had 330170. Don't hate me.
So the 4952.55, I'm multiplying it by .6666
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
to just account for
Okay.
2/3.
So 3301 point what?
37.
37.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I had in this department is, Ralph, how many people actually work in this department?
There are 3.
Just 3, okay.
Yeah.
27001.
If we were to cut employees, not completely out of the budget, but allocating just half the hours for the clerk, is that something that anybody wants to consider at this time? Or a third of the hours?
I want to consider that an option 3, where we present that to the town.
Option 3, okay.
Yeah, so a special meeting to determine that option.
I'm not looking to cut anybody, other than if you want to keep it as option 3 when we go to the town meeting, that's fine. It's just that we have to look at reality as well, and it's going to be painful for everyone. But that's fine, Mark.
My thought is,
Me.
yeah, if we segregate out any proposed personnel cuts in a separate budget, and propose that as an alternative to the budget. But I'm only one selectman, but that would be my idea. I just find that just like I don't know, I found it a healthy way to present it.
Yeah, it is. I guess we have to keep something in our back pocket. And I don't know the complete workings of the town hall as far as what is needed and what is, I doubt there's any excess, because we seem pretty slim as it is. But like I said, the cuts are gonna have to come from somewhere if we don't wanna take it out of free cash.
Absolutely.
And if we wanna keep it as option 3, that's fine with me. How do you feel, Nicole?
Yeah, I would like, if we were gonna present like something like that, like Mark said, option 3 of the, instead of kind of finagling it to what we're doing right now.
Yep. And I'm not talking personalities because I don't know them that well. It's just strictly, they'd have to reorganize themselves with the last person in would be the first one out if that was going to be a cut.
I agree with you.
Okay, so we're going to keep the numbers the same then for the Board of the Board of Assessors, other than the changing of the stipend?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so there should be a new personnel total?
I have a new budget total for the motion.
That sounds
Sure.
awesome.
$224,392.29.
So I would make a motion,
I don't think.
No,
that's-
I did that
no,
wrong.
No, yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay, because that,
660274 87,001 55,800 40203 500 1764 6 something must be wrong on here.
so it's $3,301.37, right?
Right,
And then $6,602, and what's your decimal?
74
74 cents?
84, 87, 174, 55, 800, 41, 41, 4,
right, because mine was 193, 897.
So
Yeah,
for
that's the
the
salary number.
No, well, that's,
salaries, I have $196,372.29.
Right.
Okay.
So the 196, 372 plus the 28,020. Yeah, the 224.
okay,
That's
sorry.
5,000 less.
Yeah, okay. What's the total number? I'm sorry.
$224,392.29.
Okay.
I would recommend that number as stated for Board of Assessors 141.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any more discussion? All those in favor, Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, on to page 3. This is the 145, the town treasurer. And again, the only thing I would add is keeping option 3 on the table, Mark.
Yes, I agree with you.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor then?
Motion to recommend 145 town treasurer in the amount of $113,021.32.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Sorry, can you just repeat that total one more time? 113?
$21.32.
Okay.
Okay, town collector, Department 146. I have no issues either.
Motion to recommend 146 town collector for $107,136.32.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Okay, everybody still up to date? Karen, you all set?
Yep, all set.
Okay, town council 151, $50,000. Is
Motion,
that adequate, Ralph?
Yes, as accurate as we could guess, yeah.
we've only spent $12,000 so far this fiscal year.
No,
Right.
that's December.
December,
I have
okay.
it through March if you want me to look.
That'd be awesome.
So I will say that the legal bills from one of our councils are months behind, but through the end of March, we've spent almost 20,000. But there is one that's like at least 3 months behind on billing. Not that that's a large bill, but.
Okay.
With that said, what do you think about $40,000, and we always could go to special if we need more
I was
attorney
just
fees?
going to suggest to 45, but I like 40,000 better. Ralph, not that this has anything to do with the budget, but you are the only one that contacts town council, correct?
That is correct, it goes through me, yes.
Does everybody know that, and we're not getting any phone calls from any other department heads arbitrarily?
Everybody it puts the request through me. I haven't seen
Okay.
any arbitrary ones through.
All right, thank you. Either the 40,000 or the 45. Serena, how much did we spend through March?
Almost 20,000, but there is one attorney that's quite a few months behind on billing, so that's not really an accurate number through March.
Any idea what that is, by any chance?
No.
No, okay. Well, there's always the option of taking to a department transfer, a transfer when, at the fall meeting, if it looks like we're gonna be in trouble, or next year as a leftover bill. But, I'd like to see it dropped.
Can I just voice one concern? Because we're making so
Sure.
many budget cuts already in FY '26.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be extra money if we need it down the line unless I think the only option is gonna be free cash, and free cash
Okay.
is gonna be dwindling throughout the years.
Sure.
Even with the finance committee reserves, I was hoping to, if we did come up with some extra revenue somewhere, to throw a little more into the reserves, because I think '26, a lot of the budgets are really bare bones, they're essentially under budgeted that we've heard from some
Right.
departments, and I just don't want to get jammed up too much at the
Okay.
end of '26 and kind of run out of options,
So you wanna keep it at 45?
Yes.
at least, yeah.
Motion to recommend town council 151 in the amount of $45,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, data processing, 155, this is page 4. I have no concerns. I don't think,
I don't have any concerns.
I'll make a motion to recommend Department 155 data processing for the amount of $71,723.55.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, Department 158, tax title and foreclosure. She did a pretty good job of explaining this. I have no issues with it.
I don't have any issues with it.
At this time, I'll make a motion to recommend tax title foreclosure 158 for the amount of $7,500.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, town clerk, 161.
The town clerk sent an email on April 3rd to the town administrator saying she spoke with the other town clerks and most have 2 per precinct as in regards to poll pads as either backups or 1 for check-in and 1 for check-out. We do not have check-out stations at our elections. I do understand this is a want, not a need.
And just to clarify, that's probably the next budget 162 elections.
All right. You are the best.
I check. So this is like just the clerical staff and their needs as clerk outside of elections.
Okay. So knowing that elections is separate, Mark, let's vote on the 161 as it stands.
So I would make a motion to recommend $156,749.51 for 161 town clerk.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello, aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye. Sorry.
Okay, Mark, in 162, can you explain again what she asked you for?
Well, in her zero-based budget, she broke it out that she was getting 3 more poll pads. But she did follow up saying she understands it's a want, not a need for the 3, basically.
I don't think this is the year to do it. I understand that they might be down the road, but if we can push it off until we get your other recommendations in line with, debt exclusion or an enterprise fund for trash, that we should take it out of the budget.
Did she indicate what that dollar amount actually is for the 3 poll pads?
5,100.
She said, is that, I was thinking it was line 5,100, you're right, I had requested 5,100 for 3 poll pads, you're right, that's,
Okay.
must have been that.
Yeah, it was close. I was like, I had to double check myself.
5,100. So that would bring professional and technical to 1,900.
So I have a total budget of 20,312.
Yes. Off the town administrator's recommendations, yes.
Okay. So I would I would make a motion to recommend 162 elections for $20,312.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello's an aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
163, registrations. This is 163 registrations, actual cost register stipend. Yeah, okay, I have no concerns.
I don't have any concerns.
I'll make a motion to recommend 163 registration for $8,600.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mello is an aye.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
171, Conservation Commission. We have 161, 160, 171 conservations. 2.5 increase in wages.
Yes.
I'm fine with what's there.
I'm good as well.
I'll make a motion to recommend 171 Conservation Commission for $63,454.30.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's and I.
Nicole
Aye.
Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
174, Dayton Trails Committee. This is pretty much wiped out the budget, so there is none. Do we have to vote to take that off? Or we just leave it as nothing?
I would vote to recommend a 0.
Okay.
Okay. Motion to recommend 174 Dayton Trails for $0.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's and I.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Planning Board, Department 175, we have the stipend issue. So again, we're adding a third to the TA's budget. You have a new figure, guys?
Almost.
Okay.
I have $55,264.44.
That's what I have.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nice.
Can you give me that again, Mark, please?
So I'll make a motion for 175 Planning Board to recommend in the amount of $55,264.44.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Before we, we've eliminated overtime. And I guess the question for Ralph, does any department that gets overtime required to go through you to approve it?
No.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a time for that discussion, but I was just wondering. Okay, so a motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's and I.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay. Board of Appeals, the same thing with the stipend again.
So I have a total budget of $34,970.77. Any other issues, Peter, that you had?
No, I do not, thank you.
Selectman Mello?
No.
So I'd make a motion to recommend Board of Appeals 176 in the amount of $34,970.77.
I'll second that.
Made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor, Peter Carrington, aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, 179, Agricultural Commission.
I have something
Pretty
on this.
straightforward.
Well,
Sure.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna make it not straightforward. I think this should be zero. I
Okay.
don't believe that they gave a zero-based sheet. They did come with some stuff. They had mentioned they were looking to make flyers for, something in regards to the Board of Health or the, Animal Control Officer, which they have budgets for those type of things. And just historically, this commission has kind of struggled over the last couple of years, and I'm so grateful they're starting to rebuild, which is great. But I think that until they have a clear plan, that they should wait to come for us for money, even if it's this little amount.
I agree with you.
Right, they did not submit anything when they broke down their budget for the zero-base sheet. So, if we want to eliminate it, I guess my own question is, are there supplies that are required every year? For example, fertilizer or anything that they would need? Or we're just, going to eliminate it altogether?
I don't believe that they need anything. I know that the garden had, I believe, went over to Park and Recs.
Okay.
So, I mean, in years past, it looks like they didn't really expend a whole lot.
Yeah, okay. All right, is there a motion on the floor then?
Motion for Agricultural Commission 179 to recommend $0.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Carrington, aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
189, Dayton Economic Development Committee. Seems like it's all professional and technical. I know they're doing a wonderful job over there. And printing of business material. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I have no issues with it.
Motion to recommend 189 Dayton Economic Development Committee for the amount of $900.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Peter Karen.
Nicole Mello, I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
On to page 7. This is the Public Buildings and Property Maintenance, Department 192. There's a lot encumbered here.
We haven't got to the trailers yet, have we, Ralph? The trailers. The trailer on Tremont Street for housing surplus equipment?
The short answer is no. We haven't gotten to that yet. That's part of they utilized the trailer in case they needed an additional trailer for the equipment. That's what was the price that was brought up. So we do.
We haven't got to that budget yet.
No.
No, okay.
435.
435. Start that. Thank you.
Ralph,
Yep.
they had budgeted for groundskeeping supplies, $4,000 for grass seed, flowers, and mulch. What are the buildings that we maintain besides town hall and police station, fire station?
Well, the general government campus here. At the time we'll do the library. Police department. whatever, I know there's not much around the fire department. And then I think those are the facilities, which we maintain.
Do you guys think $4,000 is a lot for groundskeeping maintenance? For supplies?
They spent 4,600 last year.
Yeah. But I mean, if we have to cut back, is that an area that we can cut back on? I mean, not that I want the properties to look like hell, but,
In FY '23, they only spent $1,787.
Right.
And then the following year, it was, what was the following year?
It's right, the column to the right, 4,590.
Why'd it go up so much?
I don't have that information.
Okay, sorry. It was kind of a rhetorical question, I guess.
So the average is $3,188 between the 2 years. So would you entertain either cutting it by $800, that would be right in line with their average spend, or, that's what I would like. I would like $3,200.
yeah, so would I. Thank you.
That sounds good.
Okay. Thank you, Peter, for mentioning
Again,
that.
I don't mean to be picky. It's just that we wouldn't be doing, or I feel like I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't point out just little things that, again, add up to a number that is that much less we have to take out of free cash.
I agree. So with that said, I would recommend public buildings and property maintenance 192 in the amount of $254,800.
I'll second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Town report.
How about we do $1,000 and we
Yeah.
encourage people to go online?
Right, that was a comment that I had on my notes here. We're an online society, and I understand that there are some that don't, which we have to accommodate, but we seem to have an awful lot of town reports left over every year. And I'm not sure there's a minimum that we have to do, but I'd like to see that figure adjusted.
Is there a minimum? Is there?
No.
Are we required, not that I'm saying I want to get rid of it altogether, but are we required to have some in print?
Yes.
Okay.
And the requirement goes even further. It has to be printed prior to town meeting or you can't have it.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
Wow.
yep.
all right.
But I think $1,000 and we encourage folks to review it online and we'll still have paper ones available.
Sure.
That's fair.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion for 195, town reports in the amount of $1,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and then seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Peter Karen.
Nicole Mellow, I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, we're on to page 8. This is the police department, public safety, and it's Department 210. I have some notes.
I was just thinking that, yep.
You know, for a fairly new building, which is what, 7 years old now? Or close to it, we spend an awful lot on maintenance and building repairs.
The newer, the more expensive to fix.
Is that what it is?
I don't know, that's just all I can think. Also, someone tried to run their car into it, so that probably
Yeah.
wasn't good
Well,
either.
insurance was supposed to cover that, but we didn't get anything out of it.
We are.
You should see her face. You're making her nervous.
Sean had told me at the time that the kid was obligated to pay, but he didn't pay.
No, the person is making payments. We're getting a couple $100 here and there.
Okay, all right, I
But
stand
it's
corrected then,
paid,
thank you.
it's paid through the courts.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have any issues with the police department, budget?
I don't.
I don't.
Okay. Then we need a motion on the floor.
I'll make a motion to recommend 210 Public Safety Police Department for $1,996,451.66.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded, any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, this is, Communications Department, Department 215. I think the chief did a good job explaining everything. Didn't we just replace somebody or hire somebody to replace somebody else?
Yes. And that's included in the budget.
And included in here is the retirement coming up this year, or is it not going to happen this year?
It's in there. Yep, the retirement, it's line 5155, the benefit.
The
sick ben-
19,000. Well, the department request is more than that.
The 22,590.
Yep. Now, will that affect the full-time salary because of a decrease by any chance?
Depending on the actual timing of retirement.
Okay. I mean, if it could be higher with 2 part-timers, we'd save some money. But I guess that would happen at the time. Okay, does anybody have any concerns?
I don't have any concerns.
I'd make a motion to recommend 215 Communications Department for $445,826.04.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, the fire department, the chief does an excellent job every year with his budget, so this is Department 220. I know he made, just like the police department, substantial cuts. I don't see anything that, in my notes that, I question at this point.
Can I just make one comment regarding their salaries?
Yes,
We are still, with their new contract, hashing out exactly the wage scales, so the number that's in
Yeah.
here might change, and if it does, then we would just have to come back to recommend it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Motion to recommend Fire Department 220 for $836,013.38.
I'll second that.
motion made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, moving on to Department 231, this is ambulance services, we're on page 10 now.
So the same statement with the salaries split between both departments.
So should we be adjusting it now to some form?
No, we have no idea if it is gonna
No idea.
change. Yeah.
Okay.
So for fire rescue equipment, the department requested 15,000, but it looks like town administrator recommends 26,000. Could you, I don't remember why.
Right, yeah, no, he recommended $15,000, so we had taken, we moved some additional funding from the ambulance fund, an additional $10,000, because $15,000 was cutting it too close. So from the ambulance fund, we put in $10,000 to that.
So that's kind of the beginning of our warrant, when we kind of break out how we pay for all of these different
Correct.
departments.
Yes.
That'll be broken
Yeah, yeah.
out. Okay,
Yes, in the motion.
in the motion, thank you.
Actually, just for your review, we also did it in the fire. So we took the additional 20,000, we kind of split it between the two for replacement of, what's the line? For replacement equipment on both, we put an additional 10,000 in the fire and 10,000 in ambulance.
I have no issues.
I don't have any issues.
Oh, I think Peter might, oh, no, there's someone in the waiting room. Sorry about that.
Somebody wants something to say before we get into the discussion?
Someone was trying to join Zoom.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mark, is there a motion on the floor then?
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little slow. $872,395.07 for ambulance services, 231.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Building inspection. Department 241. The per diem inspector increased to $45. How did that happen?
Those are actually the other budgets. It starts with the 242 budget.
Oh, no, I'm in 241.
The per diem,
am
right, the per diem start on the next, in the next series.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did he? Let's see. Oh, no, Peter, you are correct. And the line that's the 5106, the assistant building inspector.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah.
the zero-based budget. He has an additional inspector to cover him if there's a conflict. So it does say that is, he increased it to 45 from 35 for all of his
From
inspectors.
35?
From 35 to 45 for all his inspectors, and this would be the result of the Board of Health inspector in their salary. But as the building inspector cut back some other places, which he thinks he could, so he could bump up the salary. If you see in the subsequent gas inspector and the other and the plumbing inspector, he did cut out permit review and education
And didn't
put
he
the-
increase his permit fees
and increases permit fees. Yeah,
to try to?
So now they're gonna make $5 more, though, than what we pay our health agent?
$5 less.
Less.
No, they make less.
Oh,
And they haven't,
It's
they haven't
50.
gotten a
Beautiful.
rate of an increase in I don't know how long.
Okay.
very good.
Thanks, Nicole.
What's it say for, because I don't have the zero base sheet, 5710 travel? What are the,
It
It's a
says the
breakdown.
reimbursement travel related to continuing education, $780.
oh, so it's not for,
Reimbursement for travel.
it's not for driving to inspections?
No.
'cause
No,
my
no, no, he
question
has
was
to
gonna
do,
be-
continuing education.
We use this
Yeah.
town
Yeah.
vehicle for that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, I have no issues.
I don't have any issues.
Okay. No, me neither, thank you. So is there a motion on the floor then?
Motion to recommend building inspection 241 for $181,433.51.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye. I'm really sorry.
Okay, we're on to page 11, and this is for 242, gas inspection.
Motion
I have
to,
no issues. Go
motion
ahead.
to recommend gas inspection 242 for $6,750.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, 243, plumbing inspection.
Motion to recommend 243 plumbing inspection for $7,750.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Weights and measures, this is 244.
Motion to recommend weights and measures 244 for $2,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
And then electrical inspection, this is 245.
Motion to recommend 245 electrical inspection for $20,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
On to animal control officer, this is Department 292. She really runs a tight ship.
I don't think we need to do buildings repair and maintenance for $500. She wants to power wash it, I think.
Yeah.
The
do I
highway
skip
can,
that?
yeah, I think the highway department could probably do that. If
Okay.
they really need to clean it up.
Yep.
I think she knows someone in the highway department too.
I bet.
Okay, so we just that by 500?
So I'd recommend 292 animal control for $62,312.22.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded, any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Forestry, this is the salary for the tree warden, Department 294.
So it's a salary, not a stipend, but it's elected and kind of falls under all the other stipends. Because it's on the ballot, just like selectmen or
Yeah?
planning board and all these other stipends that we reduced by a third. I know it's pennies here.
Okay.
Would that, to treat everyone the same, would this
No,
fall
no.
as a stipend?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Then we have to change it.
188.51.
Okay, I make a motion to recommend 294 forestry for $188.51.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Department 299, emergency preparedness.
Motion to recommend emergency preparedness 299 for $4,000.
I'll second that.
Before we continue, how come there's been no expenses for the first 6 months of the year?
well, we haven't had any emergencies, or we haven't had to do the emergency,
So we seem to
Position, yeah.
pay an awful, budget an awful lot for, has there anything come in for, since March?
we have expended up until to date $3,800, $3,890.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
all right. The motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Now on to education. This is for Department 300, the DR, the Bristol Aggie, and Bristol Plymouth, and then our out-of-district obligation. Ralph, is there any negotiations that can be done with the Bristol Plymouth and Bristol Aggie for what they charge each student? Or is it just locked in stone? Every year they come up with, they give us a figure and we just walk away saying, okay.
Well, I mean, I've spoken to them about it. That's how they do. They come up with the formula and they choose, and this is what they charge every community. So it depends on how
Right.
many students that we have. So can we negotiate a lower rate than other communities? No. As we move forward, going to them, I've had discussions with them in like end of November and December, and giving them our situation. So,
Okay. I understand that. I'm not so sure the public understood that because I think they look at it as all we're concerned about is DR and not looking at the other two schools and never questioning the other two schools on it. And
I reached out to all three schools. Yeah.
No, Peter, I saw a lot of that on Facebook, and
Oh, yeah?
my thought was, obviously, we've had a challenge with DR because it's regional and it's only 2 communities. I don't know how they would think we would be able to go to Bristol Aggie or BP, which is far more communities, and be able to negotiate any better than we can with DR. And that's just my thought in it. It's not that I don't want to negotiate with these other schools, but the fact is that if I can't negotiate with a school that's only 2 towns, how am I ever going to negotiate with schools that are
Right.
9 or more?
Well said.
Okay.
Do we have to recommend these, or can we just accept it? Motion to accept. Because, do we want to recommend, I don't know, is it just a motion to accept?
I would say to recommend, because there is a mechanism on town meeting floor to just flat out reject it. So,
I don't propose that.
I'm just saying there's a.
Somebody's trying to get in.
Thank you.
Okay, then we need a motion on the floor.
Motion to recommend $15,465,211.10 for Department 300 Education.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Onto highway. This is Department 422.
And for their salaries, I'll just clarify, if you notice, it's the same amount being requested, that's from 25, and that's because their contract is currently in negotiations.
Okay.
So,
You have to set aside for that.
But whatever they negotiate, will that be for this coming year, or will that
For
be
fis-
FY '27?
No, fiscal year 26.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
so for building repairs and maintenance supplies, 5430, looks like they spent $900 in '23, $1,084 in FY '24, and they're requesting $3,000 in FY '26.
What line was that, Mark?
That is 5430.
It's annual maintenance on central systems and oil burner. Sewer clean out 2 times a year plus supplies
Okay,
is the justification for it.
okay. So the oil burner sounds like the cost driver on that.
Sounds like it, yep.
Okay. There's one more I saw. Okay, that's my only thought.
Sure, okay. If there's no more questions or concerns, we just need a motion on the floor.
Motion to recommend 422 Highway for $747,769.83.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Everybody doing all right, or you want to stop for a minute?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Onto snow and ice. This is Department 423.
Motion to recommend 423 Snow and Ice for $50,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Mark
Nicole
Pacheco.
Mellows and I. Oh, sorry, Mark.
I don't know why I skipped you. Mark Pacheco, aye.
That's because you needed that break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Department 429, Dayton Berkeley Bridge.
Motion to recommend 429 in the amount of $1,600.
I'll second that.
My other question is, repair and maintenance. There's been nothing ever spent on it. Why all of a sudden are we budgeting $1,000?
Do we have anything spent on it from this point?
No, through March we haven't. I think his concern is the light posts, and if something was to break with them, I think that was his biggest concern, is the glass and like the specialty of those light posts.
I will, like to amend my motion to recommend Department 429 for the amount of $600.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion?
Yes.
All those in favor? Peter Karen's and I.
Sorry, can I just make a point? So through March, on the energy costs, they've actually spent already $650.
April, May, June, July, we've got 4 more months. No, April, May, June, 3 more months.
If this motion dies, I'll recommend $1,000. What do you think about that?
Well, if we take the energy and bring it up to 700, and still take out the repair and maintenance, or bring it up to 800, or we take out the maintenance, we'd still be in better shape.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I have an $800 total now,
Yes.
and it all goes to energy, 5210.
So my original motion, Mark Pacheco's no.
Nicole Mello, no.
I'm gonna make a new,
Karen,
sorry.
Peter Karen, no.
I'm gonna make a new motion for 429 Dayton Berkeley Bridge to recommend $800.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's and I.
Nicole Mello's and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Department 432. This is street cleaning and stormwater. There is no stipend for stormwater?
No.
No.
Oh, somebody else's meeting.
MS4 compliance, is that the bottom dollar that we have to do to comply with federal standards, or is there any wiggle room in that? Because that's a pretty significant, from $0 to $15,000.
If you remember, Nancy had spoke up. We could go a little less. That's the best assumption she made for compliance. There are certain things that we have to do in the reporting. So
They spent an awful lot of money, they haven't spent as much money as they had budgeted for police department details, or have they, Serena, through March?
5303.
I mean, through December, they've only spent $5,400 out of 15,000.
Yeah, out of the 16,000, they've spent 12,556.
Okay. I have no more concerns.
I don't have any concerns.
We have contractual disposal under street cleaning and stormwater, but would it make more sense under waste collection or one of those other accounts that deal with disposal?
Isn't that because the disposal of the waste that comes out of the street is owned by the company that cleans it?
Oh,
Says the catch
it's
basin.
for the catch basins.
Right,
so it's a vendor who's charging us for waste.
right. From my memory, that's what it was, but I'm not sure, unless you can correct me, Serena or Ralph.
No, we go through a Sursage contract to clean out the catch basins.
Okay. Motion to recommend street cleaning 432 for $1 million,
Oh, the line above that.
not for $1 million, for $249,185.20.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion on this? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Transfer station. This is Department 435.
Do we not know what CMAS transportation is gonna be? Is that why it's,
Hold on, I'm
Wait,
sorry.
you're looking at 430,
Yeah, go ahead.
433 is next.
oh, okay.
Pick one?
Yeah,
Waste
Oh, I'm
collection.
sorry.
waste collection.
Okay, so CMAS? No, we're currently, in negotiations with Borges,
Okay.
and it's
So-
CMAS is,
Yeah, and we reflected those numbers in the department request, so.
yeah, those are the increased numbers. Yeah, okay.
I think we're gonna spend a lot of time on solid waste, hopefully in a special meeting in the future, so I have no issues with this.
I don't have any issues.
So motion to
Go ahead. What were you saying?
nope, I'm good.
Okay. You want to make a motion, Mark?
Oh, okay. Motion to recommend 433 sanitation for $846,000.90.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
On to 435, transfer. Yep, transfer station. Again, this would be under an enterprise fund if we were to go that route.
Mhm.
This is the, Mark, is this where the rental comes in for that trailer?
Oh, that's right, I have that starred, yes.
5270, the rental.
There's nothing budgeted for it.
Yeah, we eliminated that.
No way.
This- What line number is it?
5270, 5270.
Oh, thank you. Great. So it looks like that was a newer rental, because there was nothing voted in FY, a new line item rather, because there was nothing voted in FY '25, but we were spending $200 a month out of that line?
No, that was the $200 a month was if we were needed to get an additional rental trailer for the storage. We have, they're using their space in the library rentals right now, so that's what they're using. If we have to maintain those rentals, it would be the $200 a month.
Oh. That's just not how I understood it when Tom mentioned it. I thought there was a trailer at the transfer station right now
Yeah, they
on
have one,
Fremont
but
Street.
it's theirs.
We own it?
Yeah.
The town owns it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Motion to recommend 435 transfer station for $98,069.82.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Cemetery, 491.
Motion to recommend 491 cemetery for $32,932.90.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Board of Health, This is 510. Again, we have the stipend issue. The education stipend hasn't been used.
That gets paid out in June,
In June?
yes.
Does anyone have any concerns?
I don't have any concerns.
So I have $129,000, $712.51.
That's what I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I would recommend 510, Human Services in the amount of $129,712.51.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Council on Aging, Department 541.
I have no concerns.
I have no concerns.
No, neither do I. She does a great job, too.
Absolutely.
Okay, is there a motion on the floor?
Motion to recommend 541, Council on Aging for $176,865.05.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
The next one is Veteran Services, 543. There has been some talk of the office personnel retiring, and I think she's put it off this year for a little bit. But I was told that when they go to replace her, or with him or her, that they probably don't need 14 hours at a shop. Is now the time to look at that, or do you want to wait?
Did this include training? Wasn't there, didn't they talk about there was going to be some overlap involved?
Yes, there is, yeah.
So is that included in that 14 hours part-time office manager?
I think
That
it's
number.
included in that line.
No, I think now would be the time to discuss that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, what is it, 14 and 16 hours? Or 16, 21 hours is what she works?
14 hours is the office manager currently in
Right.
veterans. And then the other remaining hours to bring her to 35 are in the building department. It's
In
that
building
shared
department.
employee.
Right. I wonder if we should look at that 14 hours.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of veterans, but I'm not sure that it requires 14 hours a week.
I would discuss any overlap for training. So if there's a retirement and they want some overlap, I think we should give that some more thought. I don't know what they proposed for that.
I don't know.
Oh, oh no, that's overtime.
I mean, I don't want to hurt any veteran that's out there.
So it looks,
Everyone knows they've done so much.
it looks like they did
I
in
guess-
8 weeks.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Peter. I was just saying, it looks like they calculated 8 weeks for an, training, in overlap.
What's the cost for that?
3,124.80. It's on the zero, oh, you don't have. Do you want my zero-based budget doc?
That's okay, I appreciate it. Overlap is nice, but it's not a requirement. The,
8 weeks is a lot.
8 weeks is a lot, and the veterans agent could also get up to speed and then
Right.
relay that information to the new office manager. It's not ideal, but neither is the budget.
Right. What would you like to see the figure at then?
I think 0.
For what?
What, line number is it?
So it's included in 5115. So at least we have to budget $23,325 and change for the current.
Yeah, I meant
Yeah.
0 for the
No, I
overlap,
know,
not
I'm
for
just,
that
I just,
person.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to eliminate the position.
No,
No, I know.
Just the
I
overlap.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel
Okay,
about
listen,
that?
So are we saying no overlap?
No overlap.
So a reduction in approximately
I mean,
$3,000.
Any position I've ever taken, I've never had anyone to train me. Not that that's best practice.
No. Ralph had one day, I think, maybe. Did you have a day of overlap?
No.
And you're doing
I
great.
came in on my own time. Yeah, so no, I didn't have any.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
it would
I
be
wish
nice,
I did.
but
No.
Karen, you're human
How much is
resource,
it?
do you think it's necessary?
I can't say for sure, I don't know what's involved
That's
in the
Nancy.
position.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Nancy.
It's
Yeah.
less than what you have in your calculator.
Oh, so, okay.
Good answer. We can take the heat.
Sorry.
No.
Okay. Let's deduct it then.
Okay, so you want to put in this, no overlap.
No overlap, please.
So 23,414.84. I should probably verify that that's right.
$31.25. I just did it based on that. I just did 14. That number, 14.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Did you do 52.2?
No, I did 52.
All
That's
right, so
fine.
it's 3204
Right, 3204,
times 14 times 52
right,
point.
52.2 weeks.
Yeah, so it's the 23,414.
And that
Right.
comes, and if we take out, it's like 31.25, 16. So to reduce it to, what was it, 23,414.84. If you don't want to do the overlap.
Right. 41484.
Yes,
What's the number, the bottom line number, department total? Sorry.
no, it's fine. 116,191.50.
I'll make a motion to recommend 543 Veteran Services for $116,191.50.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded, but I do have discussion. Mark, the veteran said that you had discussed with him a parade. Is that still happening?
I discussed it for this fiscal year, and just with the budget, I didn't pursue it any further.
24? 25?
Yeah, for FY '25. For FY '26, he does have a Memorial Day fund, but it is being reduced, and I
Right.
was gonna bring up to level fund it, because we hope to have one next year, but,
Okay,
I think I'll follow his leadership on that.
sure. So a motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, Commission on Disability, this is 549. Again, this is a zero budget because it's been moved.
I'm just gonna make a motion to delete 549 Commission on Disability from the budget since it's been moved.
No, it hasn't been moved.
Oh,
This is separate
is
than
assistant?
Jonathan. This is the commission, and the commission just voted on zero for this fiscal year.
right on top of things. Motion to
Thank you,
recommend,
Nicole, I'm sorry.
Don't try to get rid of us.
never. Please don't take it that way either. 549, recommend $0.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, the library, this is 610, and then we're on page 16.
I know that we've talked about staffing is a number 3
Yeah.
issue, and that's something we're not talking about now. But I just want to know if, because I know we have, the library has the, what are they? The elected officials.
The trustees?
It has the
trustees of the
trustees.
library.
Do we even
Trustees,
have
yep.
any power in their employees in regards to when we start looking at where we're reducing? Do we even have any capability of reducing staff at the library?
We pay the payroll warrant, so we sign the budget every week. I'm sorry to steal your thunder.
No, no, go ahead.
Well, we have the power of the payroll. But it's the townspeople who vote the budget, not us.
Okay, I was just wondering, and I know we're not talking
So they
about
have to, yeah,
staffing.
they have to stay within the budget, but in the budget, there's a minimum amount of spending they have to do to meet state
Appropriation.
sorry, to meet state criteria. And the minimum number is 315,602. And they came in at a budget of 316,24420.
Okay,
So, I mean, we'd have to look at it if we want to, if we, going into the future to reduce, if staff reduction was a part of that, we would have to also keep that in mind, and I would have to give you information on that.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So do we want to go with the state minimum?
What was the number for the state minimum?
$316,602.
Oh, it's on here.
It
That
is.
was
Yeah.
nice. Sorry, you guys.
Yeah,
That's Serena.
Where is it?
It's
It's
right
at
under his 316
Oh,
request.
thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Um,
So the minimum spend, that's a new concept for me. I hadn't heard of that before.
Sorry, it's actually the minimum appropriated.
Appropriated, I'm sorry, yeah.
Minimum appropriate. That includes salaries. I thought, just in other presentations they had, what I gathered was they had to buy a certain amount of new books every year and new materials.
Right, yeah. That's a sub of it, the custodial, the books and magazines,
Right.
right.
He can't go below 56,000 in that line in particular.
Okay,
So that's one we cannot touch
but then it goes even further than that, and you
Yes.
have to,
as a whole.
as a whole.
Wow, it's,
So
that's,
he does have some restrictions.
Craziness.
yeah,
Isn't that
it's
crazy?
just a little wild to me.
Purchasing more books every year, I
Yeah.
totally understand that. But
A lot of restrictions.
the whole minimum amount of spending, that's
Appropriating, I know.
minimum
I
amount
know,
of
it's-
I'm sorry, I
appropriate.
put that in your head, I
I'm
apologize.
gonna write appropriating,
Yeah, yeah.
big letters,
I'm gonna write spending.
right? What do you recommend, Peter?
I prefer to go with the minimum that is required. I think they do a great job, and I think that the 56,000 is required. Well, I wasn't aware, I, like you, Mark, I'm sorry, let me back up. I, like you, thought it was just periodicals that had to be a certain minimum. And then Ralph told me, because I questioned whether or not we were going to need that full staff when the new library opens supposedly in September, according to the person from the Finance Committee. Now, one of the things that happened when we split the library was they needed a new half position because of the dual libraries. And I remember talking to them and saying, okay, you're going to give up that position when the new library opens. And it was, oh yes, we will. We won't need it. I'm not so sure they're accounting that into this budget. So that's why I would prefer to go the state minimum, which is the 315. That's $1,600 that we would save,
Okay, thank you.
or 1,000, I'm
How do they
sorry.
come up with this number? Is this some kind of calculation in regards to like how many residents and stuff like that, or?
I think it's based on the past year's, appropriations. The
It's like
average-
snow and ice, the more you,
average of the
the
three.
more you,
Yeah, it's like the more
Spend.
you go up, the more you have to stay at.
More you have to spend.
Yeah. All right.
So it's a difference of about $650.
Yeah, that's,
No, just saying, I'm not,
Ralph, would you mind sharing with the selectmen, just any information you have on that? Would you mind just
Right.
sending us an email on, like, anything you have? Just to just good to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to recommend 610 library in the amount of $315,602.
I'll second that.
Motion made has been seconded. Is there any more discussion? Do we have to decide which account it comes from, Serena? Which line item?
well, it can't come out of books and
Yeah.
magazines. Yeah,
No, definitely not.
yeah, right.
I guess probably professional and technical. Yeah, but if you
Okay,
want to
there's not-
specify,
There's not enough in professional and technical, is there? There's only $150. I'd make a motion to apply the difference evenly amongst all eligible departments.
okay.
That sounds cool.
It's probably other property-related services is really the only
I was looking
place.
at the 11,000.
Right, that, yeah,
Okay.
right,
So,
is that the other,
I'll-
oh, that, I need a,
do you need a ruler?
yeah, okay, that's why I was off, I was a little late.
So reduce evenly throughout the expenditure lines.
That
Yes,
we can,
please.
yeah. Okay,
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion on this? Then all those in favor? Peter Karen's and I.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, on to Parks and Recreation. This is Department 630.
What cost $500 in the community garden?
I
Did
was
they
just
break
gonna
that
ask
down?
about that. I can't remember
yeah,
what
they
that
had
was.
moved it from the other, probably,
General repairs to the facility, equipment, supplies, and activities.
I think it's a brand-new facility,
Yeah,
brand-new chain link.
So I was involved with the community garden for
Right.
bringing it up. And you know how sometimes you have good intentions, but you don't think of like the consequences of these things. So they do donate to the food bank, but at the point the town, the local government wasn't donating to the food bank, but now we are. And now we have to take care of this facility, which I'm not saying get rid of this facility, but just in perspective, when I think of something again, I'm going to think down the road, because this was now something that now we are responsible for because the person that put it into place stepped away.
Right.
And now we're donating to something that we, before just the townsfolk donated to, which is very kind of them.
Yes.
But I would like to see that number decrease and become more of a, if you're interested in having time in there and donating to it, more of a resident based, like you use it, you pay it, type
Absolutely.
of thing.
Right.
I had to get out there about that, about the garden, because,
No, well said.
yeah.
It was one thing if it's a one-time cost,
Yeah, and
but if
there's
a
all
recurring
these,
cost.
yep.
Okay. I'd say we eliminate it.
Me too. We don't have any data behind it, so they can still spend it out of that line and get some data behind it, but I think it should be
Do they
zero.
still have funds in this year in it?
Yes, 750.
Okay, so they should be able to, whatever they need, I mean, the growing season is now, and throughout the summer, so they should be able to expend that before
Right.
it goes into free cash.
That's a good point as well.
so I have anything.
Okay. I'm all for changing it.
Motion to recommend 630 Parks and Rec for $15,700.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
The town historian, this is Department 690.
She didn't get a 2.5 increase. Is it a stipend or, oh, this is professional and technical, I'm sorry. I thought it was a stipend. No,
She doesn't get one.
okay. Motion to recommend to 690 town historian for $250.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion?
I just have a
All those in-
question. Oh, sorry, Peter.
Sure.
What,
No, go.
what does this person do? Like, I don't know.
They supposed to maintain the, like, town records if you go there, historical records, so it's minimal work that they.
Yeah.
They've done some coloring books in the past, and some, they were involved, they like partner with the Historical Commission.
Okay.
And they did some, like the past the anniversaries that the town had, I know that they were involved in that.
Okay.
In the town archives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you second that, Nicole?
I did.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
691, Historical Commission. I don't know what they travel on, but they got 150, and how much have they spent since March, Serena?
Just in the travel line,
Yes.
$41.
If I remember correctly, they explained with this year, because of the 250th anniversary, they're going to be doing some traveling outside of Dayton, so that's why they put that number in there.
Yeah, but I thought that the 250th Anniversary Committee had their own $4,000 that we gave them. If they could raise that, we'd match it. So is it necessarily a travel for that?
They wanted that for events.
Okay. Let's say we reduce it by 50.
I say we reduce it to 50, since they,
To $50.
because they've only spent 40-something. And historically, yeah, I think $50. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. So I'd make a motion to recommend 691 Historical Commission for $1,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and been seconded. Any more discussion on it? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Cable Commission, 698. And we're on page 17 for those who.
Motion to recommend Cable Committee 698 for $58,520.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Debt Services, this is Department 710.
Motion to recommend $241,668 for 710 maturing principal on long-term debt.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
And this is 751, interest on the long-term debt.
Motion to recommend $97,675 for line 751, interest long-term debt.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Serena, for account 820 and 830, you asked us to read it a certain way?
Yes, because this is going to go through the state budget and a few other committees before we get the final numbers, so the numbers do tend to change. So I was just hoping the budget could be read a little more general, just based on the final state budget.
Okay, so how do you want the motion to read?
Good.
Go ahead.
I'm prepared.
Oh, okay,
Motion,
Mark, I'm sorry.
no, I appreciate it. I didn't think I could do it. Motion to recommend 820 state assessments and charges as deemed by the State Government Conference Committee.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye. Motion to recommend 830 county assessment and charges as deemed by the State Government Conference Committee.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Thanks for doing that, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you to Serena for setting us up for success.
Retirement and pension contributions. This is Department 911.
Motion to recommend 9/11 retirement and pension contributions for $1,160,890.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Group health. This is Department 914.
Motion to recommend group health 914 for $1,466,486.54.
I'll second that.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Department 915. This is group life insurance. 5175.
Motion to recommend 915 for the amount of $1,500.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Department 916.
There's $100,000 potentially.
I just noticed that. Paul had come to me afterwards saying that if we were able to give back any money, that is one place that he thinks he would need an additional $3,000. Which, we had gone over budget, I want to say maybe in 23 or 24 when Lenny was still on the board, and it was a hike in overtime ended up putting us over our budget.
Do you want to go to 100,000 then?
Or somewhere in between.
Okay.
98,000? 98.5?
98.5.
Do we hear 99?
I know, I feel like I'm on Deal or No Deal.
No. 98.5 seems like a happy medium to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to recommend 916 employer contributions for $98,500.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, OPED, 919.
Motion to recommend 919 in the amount of $10,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
And tuition, 920.
I think we should reduce it to $2,000.
2,000?
Do we have contractual
I do.
obligations as a result? Yeah. Good.
I think one of the unions, they can get 3,000 per person. Did we have somebody, did we come to that number with 2 employees saying that they were going to
There's
take
a potential
education?
with the 2 employees, that's
Yeah.
why we put it at the
Is it
6,000.
subject, I thought the tuition policy, they had to go in front of the selectmen, it was subject to approval by the selectmen, is something like that?
Within the bylaw language?
We have a policy, a tuition
do.
reimbursement policy.
But,
They have
but they're union, so does that change it?
So we have a union contract that gives tuition as well?
Yes.
There are some contractual.
Okay. Okay. Motion to recommend tuition 920 for $6,000.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, liability insurance. This is Department 945.
Are they still estimates?
Motion to recommend to 945 liability insurance for $266,704.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Do we have a new general fund total yet?
Oh, no.
No? Okay.
And that doesn't need to be voted, yeah.
Serena's
No, I
good,
just
but not that good.
That's a lot of math.
That's,
Then there's just, the sewer.
Sewer Enterprise Fund, this is Department 600.
Motion to recommend sewer enterprise funds for $411,218.43.
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Oh, Mark Pacheco, aye. I'm sorry. Keep doing that. Have a bad night.
All right, we've finished his new business. Then it's on to the approval of the warrants, Mark.
Just for the budget, the full implications on chapter 5318B, is that something that can be brought back to us and we can revote that budget? There's a cost for mailing, like FY 26 if we go that route. So can we just revote that at some point in the future? Because like we'd have to assume this gets approved at town meeting and what the implication would be on this.
so that would probably, right now, would probably go on town clerk's budget,
Yeah, yes.
the elections budget.
It'd either be that or, I'm not sure who would do the mailing. It would probably be selectmen. But the town, it would probably be town clerks and selectmen, because we'd have a little bit of a legal fee and a mailing fee, and she might find the costs in there too.
Yeah, we can definitely discuss it with her, and
Yeah,
once we nail down an amount.
and then we could you could come back and do like another recommendation.
Yes.
Especially when you do the joint meeting, I mean, we have until a joint meeting with the finance committee.
Okay.
If we're gonna do the 50, right, if it gets,
We probably will have to have another joint.
oh, we have it scheduled, yeah.
Oh. When is it scheduled?
The May meeting, right, our joint meeting with the finance committee? Is that the May 14th?
Is there one remaining?
Yes. May 14th.
May
is what we
14th.
proposed,
Right, a final joint meeting with them,
which would be a regular meeting.
right,
Right.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
okay, thank you.
Nicole, do you have any questions about the budget?
No. Thank you.
Mark, do you?
No, I appreciate your support.
Thanks. Thanks for your input.
Thank you. All right, warrants okay, Peter?
Yes, sir, whenever you're ready.
I make a motion to pay the warrants paid by April 3rd, 2025, 40A-25 for $133,898.41, 40B-25 for $818,504.97, warrants paid by April 10th, 2025, 41A-25 for $125,693.74, 41B-25 for $166,862.19.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Karen's an aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, approval of the Board of Selectmen's regular meeting minutes for March 26th of 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes of March 26, 2025.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Peter Karen.
Nicole Mellow, I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
Okay, we're up to the last input, public input for the evening. Is there anybody out there that wants to be heard? Anybody online, guys?
Laura's coming.
Okay.
Laura Madera, 1645 Maple Street. I just wanted to commend you guys for a very hard task that you have, and thank Mark. I really liked your effort and your ideas that you have. And as you said, there's a lot of on-edge employees, me being one. So I appreciate diving into all the different avenues to look at. Between the options, is there at this time going to be a date suggested for those special meetings for the other two options that you're hoping to look at for the town?
I think our town leadership will have to put their heads together, and I'm guessing they'll have to work with us offline on dates that work for all of us.
And these options would be for the annual town meeting, for this annual town meeting, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's my recommendation and my goal. I think that we need direction from the townspeople, so I think we need to bring 3 solutions to them and then get directions from the town on which way they want to go.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
Thank
for
you.
clarifying.
You.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, motion to adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Peter Carrington, aye.
Nicole Mellows and I.
Mark Pacheco, aye.
All right. Thank you guys very much. It was a great job.
Bye, Peter.
Bye,
Thank
Peter.
you.
Bye. Talk to you later, guys.
Talk to you later.